Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome everybody to 1 Million Cups here over in Ybor. Woo, woo, the best chapter on this side of heaven. I'm Pamela McCoy. I will be your MC this morning. And I am one of the organizers. So I'm going to go out of order a little bit because I want to recognize the organizers up front. We've got Miranda over here in the back. We've got Walter. I don't see Shane. We got David over here. See Coffee, but I don't see Julia. Let's see. Josh is not here. David, Kate, keep her lifted in prayer. Yes. Her dad is in the hospital, so if we can keep him. Lynn, we've got her here. Cassidy is here. All righty. And if anyone is parked over here, Tori, our media person, we cannot forget Tori. She keeps us on the map, right? So if anyone is parked right over here, if you would take a moment to park across the street, because the folks over here are friendly folks, will friendly tow you. And we don't want that to happen. So how many newbies do we have here that this is your first time? How did you guys hear about us? Google. Okay, and a friend. We got another newbie. Oh, wow. We're protected. How'd you hear about us?
I actually came in here yesterday because I have a business that I'm trying to build and make myself, and something that I don't think anybody else is trying to corner the market.
Okay, then. Well, you're in the right place at the right time. All righty. You'll see two placards on the table. The one that is standing up, if you will scan that QR code, it will put you in touch with the ECC, who will send out, not spammy, but send you out information of all the wonderful things that go on here at the ECC. The one that is flat on the table, if you will scan that to check in, that lets the Kaufman Foundation know that you are here. And I think it's after 3 times that you're here, you might win some cool swag stuff. So I know we all want some 1 Million Cup swag. So please do that. While you're here, if you take photos, please do. And load them on social media. If you do, please tag us. If you're on Facebook, it's Facebook and /1 Million Cup spelled out Tampa. Instagram is at 1MCTPA. LinkedIn is 1 Million Cups Tampa, and YouTube is also 1 Million Cups Tampa. All righty, so that's all the administrative stuff out of the way. Are y'all excited? We got 2 wonderful presenters today. Our first presenter is Miss Tonya Brinkley Wright, who is from Phoenix Training and Educational Institute. Without further ado, Miss Tonya.
Yes. I'll share one.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Good morning. Good morning. That is a beautiful day. Again, my name is Tonya Brinkley Wright. I am the owner and founder of Phoenix Training and Educational Institute. Just a little bit about me. I am a proud graduate of University of South Florida, where I am currently, that's right, go Bulls. I am currently getting my doctoral degree in educational and program development. I am also an employee of Hillsborough County Public Schools. I have been an educator now for 25 years. Wow. I recently graduated from the Temple Terrace Leadership and Innovation Cohort, where we focus on leadership and innovation throughout the Temple Terrace area. Also currently working as a community resource teacher for Hillsborough County Public Schools, where our focus is meeting with our community members and bridging the gap between businesses and the school district. I am most proud of extending my educational foundation at the University of South Florida, where I am focused on developing educational programs with innovation for youth and adults. And through this experience as an educator about 5-6 years ago, I said, I am no longer interested in being a teacher. I was burnt out, tired, and with the model of preparing students for life that was near and dear to my heart, I felt like that's not exactly what we were doing. And I wanted to change that trajectory. And I started with myself. I started with, during COVID, I realized that people were talking about their finances, but no one was talking to me. And inside the educational system, we have tons of people that come in and they get us to sign up for things, and then we never see them again. And during that time, I realized no one was speaking to me and I wanted some answers. So I called my financial advisor and I said, tell me about my money. And he went through his normal spiel and I asked him a very specific question. He stopped and paused and said, wow, no one has ever asked me that question. He said, you are in the 1% of educators that actually come with questions. And that concerned me. I needed to know what was happening with my investment. And so I took charge of my learning and I began to prepare my own credit. I learned how to analyze my credit and I learned the different strategies to improve it. In a matter of 4 or 6 weeks, I saw improvement. And then I wanted to help everyone. I told my brother, my cousin, my mom, let me do your credit. I'll fix your credit. I'll fix your credit. And that is how Phoenix Educational Institute was developed, because I realized that I wasn't just a teacher. I was an educator and I wanted to make a difference. And so taking classes, I realized that the content was great. I was learning so much, but this is how I felt in those classes. And as I looked around, I wasn't the only one. So I became a nuisance. I was asking all the questions that everyone around me wanted to ask, but they just didn't want to interrupt. And so the professors or the facilitators, they got kind of annoyed with me. They're like, why don't you just keep asking these questions? And so I wanted to change this trajectory for not only our youth, but also for our adults. And through my sorority and my company, I was able to develop programs that not only talk about personal finance, but also leadership and entrepreneurship. With personal finance, it's more personal and passionate because these are things that I didn't learn. And so I had to take control of it myself. And I did some research, and it says that approximately 75% of US students experience moderate to high financial distress within a year of high school, often driven back by a lack of financial literacy and rising debt. And that goes back to, we are preparing students for life, but they're not prepared. 54% of teens feel unprepared to finance their futures, and roughly 87 to 88 report high school did not prepare them to hand money, leading to significant stress. We have to change this statistic. So doing more research, I realized that in high school, it is a graduate required course to be able to take these courses and to be able to graduate. But there was nothing in middle school or elementary school. So what Phoenix Educational and Training Institute does is create the workshops and make it hands-on and engaging. We would like to take it a step further by creating something specifically for our elementary students. Why wait till high school? So with our financial literacy bus, we will give our students the hands-on experience integrated with AI technology as well. And again, it's right there on site. It is again preparing them for life. Inside of our financial literacy bus, again, hands-on equipment that's going to be able to empower our minds with financial knowledge for a brighter future. And again, lead them to direct experience with careers. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
So, are there any questions? If you have questions?
What can the community do?
What can the community, come get to that.
I'm sorry.
Is what can the community do for you?
Thank you so much for asking that question. What can the community do for me? I would like to actually create this financial literacy bus. It's going to take about $100,000 to create this bus. And as you can see here on the screen, there's a breakdown of how that money will be spent with the interior build-out renovation, of course, the purchasing of the bus, the wrapping, and the technology that is going to be required to go inside of the bus. Also, I provided a 3-year projection on the table. Most importantly, I am looking for designers to help with the branding, the contractors to help build to build out the bus, and then tech professionals to help with the app simulation that's going to make it hands-on and engaging. Yes.
Are you looking to add more to your idea?
Always, yes.
Because, don't get mad at me, anybody. My brain, I get dyslexic. I cannot help but fix.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking if you start pilot programs like with the little guys going on up, where if you could figure out from companies that would give you something that they could put together and they get monetary currency for it, and they take care of their finances from that time. The responsibility of that is the projects they get and the written homework, so they can see that they put the back on these and they got money and they put it in the bank and they follow it from there. That's their scene. They start a little account from whatever
Yes.
age. And
Yes.
it keeps on them, because every time they money mowing grass or whatever, it's part of, because they're thinking of creating. You
Yes.
understand? It
Yes.
gives them more than just going in a box. It
I
gives
agree.
them something where they're gonna get money and they're gonna write down what they got and the profit or how much time, so they understand it fully.
I totally agree. I've been meeting with a man named Terry. He started the Millionaires Club at Chamberlain. And he was telling me how they have like a savings by the time they graduate high school. I'm like, if we can do that in elementary school, imagine how much money.
Not give them money.
Yeah.
to watch it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And then get the parents with work at home.
Yeah.
Goes into that account.
yeah. I
Because then
love
they understand, because a lot of us put more time in our job than we should. And we don't think right as far as that. If we're gonna teach the younger ones, oh, just put the work. No, you don't just put the work in. You gotta allocate for them hours. Everything gotta be correct.
Right,
Or
yeah,
it's all from the beginning.
yeah.
You'll hit the ground running and you'll never walk in your job.
Thank
And I'm
you.
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have the next person.
Yes,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Presentation.
thank you.
Question, so you provided us with a projection over here.
Yes.
In regards to, the revenue stream that you're disclosing over here, your expectation is that from every visit, you will be charging $1,200?
Yes, for a site visit. Well, at the school.
And,
Who's your client?
yes, thank you.
Who's gonna pay for that?
So, the school actually has funding to be able to prepare for, field trips. So it would be considered a field trip, specifically Title I schools and community schools, which community schools are directly connected to UCF and USF. And they have outside funding to pay for specific programs that's, brought into their schools.
And the next one. To touch on that, and again, great presentation. What about for students who are special needs or kids who develop from special needs? I know I graduated from a school called Pepin Academy. There was something not the same as this, but it was similar to it. That taught kids how to manage their finances and manage this, manage that, but with kids with disabilities.
Yes.
Would you be willing to work with schools like that?
Oh, absolutely. So my first degree at USF is actually in special education. So I served as a exceptional student educator for the first 15 years. And I'm blessed to say that because during that time, we didn't have a curriculum. And so I literally had to go through trash cans from general ed teachers pulling out these and create lessons for my students. So as I'm building out this bus, I definitely will make it accommodating for those students with those exceptionalities as well.
Tonya, thank you
Yes.
very much. Your passion comes through. You're definitely an educator, and I applaud the financial literacy. I'm a banker, and that's why I got into banking. I feel like your message is diluted. You talked about so many different things. I didn't really understand what you were doing. You started talking about adults, and then they went back to kids. So I would, if you're gonna be doing a presentation like this again, be very clear. What is the problem you're solving on the front end?
Gotcha.
This is what I'm solving. This is why you should listen to me. Don't spend so much time talking about yourself. Your credentials speak for themselves. And then go into, because we always I call them the goosebump moments. When
Yeah.
you start talking about that financial literacy, that's when you're gonna get people's attention. And so I ask you now to tell us right now, I guess the bus is your focus.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
I feel like as a banker, you're putting the cart before the horse. You need to have some after-school classes on site and show that it's a viable product and get data that shows that people got value from it. And then you will be able to move into getting money for the bus.
Love it.
And so my focus is focus on the charter schools that have multiple locations, go directly to their PTA, CPA groups that can collect money to do this for you. And I think that you will find results that way.
Thank you. I'm actually, a part of my dissertation is the implementation of financial literacy in elementary schools. So I have begun to do that research and implement programs in a variety of elementary schools to be able to collect that data to show that it is needed. So thank you for that.
I wanted to say I came in a little late, but I really like your concept, and I think that what's interesting about it is it's one arm of a whole life skills group of maybe a whole collective of people that emotional intelligence, relationships, things that soft skills that people don't really get, as often. And so
Absolutely.
I was thinking if there's any kind of organization out there you could partner with, to bring, you could bring so much to neighborhoods, even used to be Sweet Pickles. Of course, not Sweet Pickles used to be this reading thing when I was growing up, and it was a school bus that would show up to your neighborhood and 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 stuff like that. So anyways, I just wanted to say, I think your concept's great. I don't have a lot of criticism. I just wanted
Thank
to say
you.
it's a great idea.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good morning, beautiful presentation.
Good morning.
I always love seeing you get up and do your thing. My question is a little bit about the curriculum, and I wanna get some more insight into exactly, or maybe not exactly, but some more details on your implementation plan. One thing that stands out about financial literacy is that this is something that takes a long time to develop, and as someone who did not grow up in a financially literate household, it can take a long time to repair those damages.
Yeah.
So what does the long-term curriculum implementation look like? Is this something, for example, if you had a bus, would you be going back to the same schools 3-4 times a year, or is this an annual visit thing? Are there any components that bring parents in there? Because that's where we get that financial foundation is from our parents. So can you tell us a little bit more about the curriculum and how that's structured?
That's a really great question. And as I am thinking and building out this concept, even with my doctoral studies, that's where we kind of pause at. It's the impact, right? Because we're starting so young. I don't have an answer to that right now, but it is something that we're constantly revisiting. How could we document this is working or this has worked as we're starting with kids so young? So definitely bringing in that parent component, because of, kids learn through indirect gestures and stuff like that. So it's something that we're currently working on. The curriculum piece, because I'm an educator, we're developing it. I have a couple of partners that's working with me. I've met with Marie Rogers. She's the Social Studies Director of Hillsborough County, and she's on board with me, helping me as well. So we're trying to definitely align our standards with what our students are learning on the bus as well.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm brand new, so I'm trying not to have a bad first impression here.
Okay.
But I am in the finance industry, and the only thing I don't see here is the runway to get the package off the ground. So for example, on the screen here, you're saying, hey, I need tech professionals to do development. I've got a guy and I could hand you, but he's not free, right? Contractors building out the bus, things like that. You've got some things on your expenses here, but if you were gonna approach a bank, for example,
Yeah.
make sure you've got that runway on that list. How much you gonna pay to develop that simulation, those apps? How much are you gonna give the developers, your branding, your worksheets? If you're gonna do it as volunteer, which is a possibility, I would notate that, because the passion that you're giving on this presentation was amazing. I loved it. I love the concept. I think it's definitely something. I mean, I remember the Scholastics, right? We all love those. You're gonna appeal on that same level to the same kids, and it's gonna be great. But that first year's got to ramp up, and it's got some costs that you're not showing. And I hate to see your project not get funding or not get the establishment that it deserves.
Thank you.
First, I want to say great presentation. I also am in the financial industry. I think a lot of this is really interesting, and I agree that coming from a family that didn't have that financial literacy, especially the woman, I think it's a big need. A couple of questions I had were, so you mentioned the bus at the end. Do you have an online program as well that does the financial literacy, or is the bus the main focus? It's okay if it is. I'm just curious.
Well, it's twofold. Yes, I do have one online with a partner that we're actually trying out because I work at a school, and so I create programs. So I have the ability to kind of test this stuff out with my kids. Right now, the bus is a focus as well.
Got it. Okay. I think there's something interesting there as well, kind of to what they were saying as well. Because obviously the online program, we don't have those huge startup costs. So maybe like kind of having that trial basis of working with the schools, is there a way that you can kind of implement the program?
Right.
Maybe before you have the bus, you kind of have those really, those larger investments up front. But once again, have you spoken with the schools yet about like you coming and the need for that? I wasn't sure what you said.
I have, and I've also partnered up with some nonprofit organizations that are looking for, that are looking for, financial literacy. And so there's a pathway there already. But again, I think my big thing is the data piece to make sure that I have the numbers that can support, like, this is what we need. And then also being in the school system now, I see what we're doing for field trips. And I'm like, we could really do something that's impactful for our kids and be really like creative. So that's where the idea of bringing the bus on site, because what we pay to take kids on field trips is a lot. And so why not transfer that money over to an on-site field trip?
Well, thank you for clarifying that, and I love what you're doing. I want to support you in any way that I can.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I will get your contact information.
Yes, I have one more question here, and if anybody has more question for her at the end, you can approach her as well.
Great job.
Hi, Lauren.
And of course, we want to partner, but for the data piece, I think doing things like this one, I guess it is like a money club, a basic, just flat out call it what it is. And then we're like, you either run it at places like Amrock, right? Or after school club, where you can collect that data over time with some of your materials. Kids have a financial diary or something online. I remember they did something when I was in school where we got a checkbook.
Yes.
With X amount of fake cash.
Yeah.
And then we had to rank, we had to earn more money into it over the semester, or we were dead broke at the end of the semester, depending on what we did, right? So I think some kind of game-based kind of stuff like that, especially for kids, would be really powerful. You should be able to get some data over time with that. Was rolling out a couple of after-school clubs in elementary and middle school, getting your data on there, and then being able to go to everybody else's point with some of that information to banks and saying, here's the information we've gotten. We'd love to sponsor this. And we'll get you these number of bank accounts being opened in your bank for doing this or something like that. So I think there's a couple of different ways to approach it, but we'd be happy to help. And of course, partnering with somebody like Chris
Yeah,
For the
right.
youth entrepreneurship program and adding a financial literacy component would be really, really powerful. So,
Thank you.
But excellent, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Tonya.
Thank you.
While David's up here transitioning the tech, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. We are now in the Hillsborough County Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. In this center, they offer lots and lots of programming. So again, if you scan the placard that is standing up, you will get access to that information. It is a lot of good programming, and it is free. It is our tax dollars at work. So make sure you take advantage. The gentleman in the back was indicating that he's thinking about what we call entrepreneuring, right? And so you're in the right place because there's so much related to what you're trying to do. You'll find a lot of resources there. And we also want to thank Blind Tiger, who provides our coffee every week. We could not be caffeinated without them, and it is delicious. So make sure you guys partake in the coffee that we have back there. And next we have our second presenter, which is Naveszn. We have Miss Evan Allen. Woo!
You're welcome.
That's actually the semi-matching necklaces.
Kinda.
Well,
yeah, but
The dangly going on.
Yeah.
Here's that. Then what's gonna go upstairs?
Okay.
Alright.
So this is just clicking up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so good morning, everybody. My name is Evan Allen. I am the owner of Naveszn Official. As you can see, this big, beautiful, colorful orange screen, which is my favorite color. Naveszn Official. I'm just gonna go through basically what it is, why it's so close to my heart, and how you guys can help me. So our purpose is to lead people to Jesus Christ through authentic storytelling, current events, media, branding, art, community, fashion, and innovative experiences. Currently here in Tampa, Naveszn Official is connected to a couple of different ministries that are helping us to provide different creative outlets to creators who are music artists, dancers, designers, and many things like that, to be able to express themselves and express their ministries so that people can ultimately come to Christ. So also just a little background, because I know some people are like, is it Naveszn? It's Naveszn. So the Nave is, first of all, my name is Evan. Before coming to Christ, Naveszn meant that it is all about Evan. It is my season, no matter which way you flip it. But after I came to Christ, I learned that the nave is actually the central part of the church building where the congregation sits. Season is a certain time that things happen, right? We know fall, winter, spring, summer. So I believe that it is the church's season to bring people back to Christ ultimately. So that's what I am doing. My background is in media and communications, as well as art. So I'm going to take you guys into the Naveszn. All right, so Naveszn Official is made up of 4 components. I am the artist known as Naveszn. Then we have Naveszn Studios, which is the creative branding and production company, as well as the Naveszn Network, which is a Christian media network. So think of TBN, also CTN, but also kind of like Netflix or Complex Networks, where they do concerts, they do film showcases and different things like that, which it'll also be found on apps like Roku and Fire Stick and things like that. And then there is the e-commerce aspect of Naveszn, where we have different branded gear that also leads people back to Christ. So I'll just take you guys through just some of the things that, just a little visionary path of what's going on. So I'm Naveszn. I make art, music. I've been performing, just recently performed at the Tampa Bay
Black Heritage Festival as well as the Strawberry Festival. And I use my music to ultimately lead people back to Christ. So I'm the artist, but the company is not just about me. Say it again. Somebody said something? Oh. Then we have Naveszn Studios, which is where we build brands, produce stories, and help develop creators. So if you have a brand that you're looking to build from the ground up, that's what we help you do, as well as the academia aspect of Naveszn Studios, where we educate students as well as business owners on how to make their brands better or how to just dream bigger and make the ideas that they see come to life. And then we have Naveszn the Network, which is currently on YouTube with different films, interviews, but that is currently under construction. We are currently partnering with different organizations such as the Viral Christian Club, The Joyful Noise, as well as Tampa Christian Creatives to help produce more content. So that is currently what we're working on for the network aspect of it. And then we have the e-commerce aspect, which is where we produce very in-your-face testimonial gear, I would say, just to let people know that you can overcome through Christ. So that is what we stand for. We are friends of Jesus. I'm a former gossiper, so I wanted to, create different things that will help people to feel free about sharing their testimonies in a different way. I keep on scrolling down. So that's pretty much Naveszn in a nutshell. It's sometimes hard to put into words, but that's a very on surface explanation of what it is. Currently, as far as the business aspect of it, the studio did $20K last year, and this is my first time doing my taxes, so I was really proud of that. Well, my business taxes, I do my taxes. So I was really proud of that. And we've been hosting creative summer camps for kids for the past, this will be our 3rd year. And so this summer, we're actually taking a mom and her son to New York to do a college tour, Columbia University, as well as to speak with the creative director of Shea Moisture and a couple of other creatives in the field in New York. And then we're also doing a for the girlies creative tech camp for 5 days in July, just to help young girls to build their own brands, be empowered, and know who they are. So that's it. That's Naveszn.
Question, what can the community do for you?
Yes. Oh, what can the community do for me? Well, the community can do a lot. So I'm extremely good at doing the creative side of things, but I heard that there are a lot of financial experts in the room. So that is something that I am definitely needing help in, because I know that I can create whatever, but if I don't have the financial backing or financial literacy to do it, then my business, it's not a business at all. So I need help with that, as well as, let me see, sorry, I wrote some notes. A business mentor, in just the area of having a business that has longevity. And then also kids. I was talking to you this morning. I need kids who are interested in building brands, interested in just learning about entrepreneurship, learning about marketing and things of that nature. So yeah, that's what I need. And if y'all know any video editors, that too.
That's all.
Any questions from the audience?
Are you a for-profit or non-profit?
For profit.
I don't think I need the mic. Michael, I'm gonna get to it before Miranda does. I think you have to niche more. And I think what is it that ties all that together, right?
Mhm.
It's Christian entrepreneurship, or entrepreneurship around, Christian themed.
Right.
Production, branding, businesses, right? So I think that makes it easier to understand how all those things, so if you look at all those things, how do they tie together? I don't know, I might have other feedback on that. But when you mentioned the camps, that was interesting, right? I mean, I was more interested, because that was a physical thing. What did you do at the camps, right?
Right.
And why were those important, and how well attended were they, and what were the youth looking for? So if you're looking at business development around wholesome Christian themed futures for people, how to do businesses, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, question, and then this is a great, by the way, great.
Thank you.
Have you thought about working with some churches? I know there's some churches like, there's a church off of Fowler. They have a big media team there. Crossover, yeah.
Mhm.
Have you thought about working with churches like Crossover or Grace Family
So
to help you out, or have a partnership with any of these other churches to go out in the community and do this with kids or anything like that?
So I actually am partnered with a church, well, it's my church, Manifestations Worldwide, the Center for Manifestation, as well as there is a group that is connected to Revealing Truth Ministries, called the Creative Collective. So I'm currently working with them to build that community, but I definitely am, and some of them go to Crossover, as well as Grace Family too. So I actually have talked to somebody at Grace Family to be able to bring what Naveszn has to them, see how we could connect in some way. So yes, I have actually.
Great presentation. I love your passion. You do need to learn to speak the language of business owners if you're going to get them to engage with you. And
Right.
what it comes down to is data. Data is everything. And so putting testimonials on here, showing people that have engaged with you and started with you, what they got from it. And it may not be quantitative, it may be qualitative. It may say, we found a home where we felt recognized. Whatever that is, you need external data from other people to validate what you're bringing.
Right.
Now, the numbers are good. Now, if you were able to bring someone, the content you created brings them more followers or whatever you're doing, that data is what is going to drive the income to you, to them, and to the network that you're creating. And so learning how to speak that language is gonna help.
Okay, thank you so much.
Somebody else here?
First of all, very proud of you for seeing what you're doing. Definitely it's gonna be awesome to connect with some organizations, programs. So something like that to get your data. I have a lot of girls that are creatives. And that's not me. So I'm always trying to create different camps for them. So that's something that I know you mentioned camps.
Right.
But there are organizations that can even take care of that for you. I mean,
Right.
You're helping us.
Yes.
It's something that the kids want, but we don't do it. But we want to bring it into that space for them.
Right.
So they're already a part of our program. So that may be something you can connect with, partner. That way my hands.
Yes.
Okay, partner with me or some other ones, it would be a great opportunity to gather together.
Yes, absolutely. I have data. I do need to put it in my presentation and display it more. So I do have that. I just have to figure out how to work it in. So thank you for that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna look stupid, but.
No.
Yeah, me too. So, hey, can you explain to me exactly like what is your main, what's your main goal? What's your main mission? Like explain it to me again, because I got distracted by something and then I kind of drifted off, so I'm just gonna say I do this sometimes.
No, that's okay. That's me too.
So what is it that you're doing exactly? What's your main goal?
So my main mission is to lead people to Christ. But I'm using the mediums of media, so film, shows, music, that aspect, as well as helping on the studio side of things, empowering creators to know who they are as God-given creatives and building their business from that place. So being confident and helping them with branding, helping them with graphic design, things of that nature.
So branding them based on their belief systems, basically helping them be like that. I guess I was just, and how would you do, are you just gonna target creatives to speak more about what they believe in?
So no, so it's for business owners. I'm Christian. You don't have to be Christian for me to work with you. But I help ministries with their branding, how to present themselves. So sometimes, like for instance, I'll give you this. I used to be a creative director for a church. The things that they had me do was if they have a conference, this is how you present your conference. This is how you brand it. This is the social media aspect of it. So I help people with those skills. If you have a business, for instance, if you do nails, I help you with your logo, with the language to help you market your stuff. Like it's a creative branding agency as well.
Corporate standards, right? Corporate graphics.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I get it. All
Yeah,
right.
but also helping with identity as
Yeah,
well.
Like,
Yeah.
right, identity package and everything. That's cool. Okay, so it's like. Cool, okay.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
You said you're an artist, right?
Yes.
So is all your work copyrighted? I saw your copyright stuff. You went through the.
Yeah, working on it. Working on it.
Well, that's what I'm also an artist.
Okay.
I recommend you protect all your intellectual property.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before you start talking about all this stuff,
Mhm.
somebody could just steal your stuff.
Right. So are you talking about like ASCAP or BMI?
Well,
Because I have
that's
yeah.
one portion. What you do need to do is go to the Library of Congress,
Right.
and then you can register your copyrights. As a matter of fact, if you have up to 10
Right. Works.
content, you
Yeah.
can upload that, and then you pay. You can do up to 10, I think it's like $85.
Got it.
It takes a little bit of time to get just so you can get a registration.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if somebody steals your stuff and take them to court, you can actually prove that you own the copyright. So
Right.
that's my biggest recommendation. In terms of your songs,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned BMI and ASCAP. So BMI and ASCAP, that's where you get your performance rights.
Right.
All right. So if you're creating like songs and dance moves or whatever, if you're able to kind of. So when it gets performed somewhere
Mhm.
down the line, you get paid royalties for that.
Right.
So
Right.
you gotta keep up the passion and in terms of the business. My recommendation is to delineate what you do for the Christian piece of it
Mm-hmm.
from the business services. Because when she asked that question, you kind of like, what else to do for businesses? But then your challenge there would be looking for Christian-based businesses. So,
Mhm.
so if you're trying to make like money, you said you made $20,000 last year,
Mm-hmm.
be able to analyze where that money came from.
It was from Christian.
Was it based off
Yeah.
like providing services to Christian-based organization, or was it straight branding? So because back to what you said, that's the kind of data that's gonna help.
Right.
So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So great presentation. I just wanted to understand a little bit about your cost structure and pricing.
Right.
From a business standpoint, you said you
Mhm.
made already about $20,000 last year. What are your packages? What are you selling?
So I'm selling full branding packages. So that comes with like your logo, your colors, your brand strategy, photography, videography. So I basically sold like branding, full on branding packages to different organizations.
Right.
And so as well as doing film and videography for people.
What are your prices?
Okay, so I actually have that. I don't have them all memorized. But that's on my website if you want me to show you that. I have a pricing intake thing, so I can show you that. But mainly for my branding packages, they go for $2,500. So I did a couple of those last year as well as videography packages. It just depends on the project. Because if I'm doing directing for something, it's gonna be different if I'm just covering an event for an hour. So I can't really like say that. If that makes sense. But I do have a pricing intake calculator that you can go see the prices on. it has a range of prices. So that's why I say I don't necessarily, if somebody asks me, oh, what's your package for, this? Well, let's have a consultation so that I can see what all of that you need. So I'm not just throwing out a price, because that I probably would have made more last year if I didn't just say, hey, my price is $2,500 for this flat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of careful with that. So I have ranges, not necessarily concrete prices.
Good morning. One of my I've got two things. One is just an offering. I know that you mentioned in your presentation that you were looking for business mentors. I am in a similar boat. And so two places that I have recently come across that have been valuable resources are score.org and Connected. In both of those places, Connected is spelled without the E, so CONNECTD. And between those two places, you can find fractional capacity or these part-time mentors, CTOs, CFOs, kind of things that can help you out on the business side of things at no cost to you. So that just might be an avenue for finding some of those resources for the business side of things.
Got it.
Now, getting into that business side of things, one thing that kind of sticks out to me, and I think that we're sort of echoing, is it's not super clear what your main offering is. And I love the variety of packages that you offer and all of these different things. And I am someone who has interests all over the place. And one of Dr. Shane, one of the first things he ever advised me on was silo your energy, focus on one thing and get that really, really strong before really pursuing some of these other areas. So if you could, what would be your main thing? If I were, because I want to know if someone comes up to me with a problem, how am I going to know to send them over to Naveszn? So what is that one problem, or even your ICP, your ideal person, what is that one person or top 3 people that want to come and work with you or need X? What's that main problem you're solving, and how does your main offering solve that problem?
Okay, so first of all, my target audience, I believe that you just mentioned, are Black women, educated Black women who are looking to build businesses, who have interest in education as well as just entrepreneurship in general, who are also interested in media, or have interest in fashion, as well as even down to what shows they stream, different shows that they stream and stuff. So Black women who are affluent, and that's my target audience, my initial target audience. The problem that I solve is building a brand, making your brand, or if you have a brand, revamping your brand so that it appeals to the people that you are targeting. So.
No, I'm good with the voice. On your Christian faith and everything, why don't you just mark it on, we're a Christian base, and that guarantees everyone's welcome, not unlike other businesses. Because God said we are all his children. You don't have to follow the religion, but you are welcome here, even if you believe in atheism. You got to swing it that way, that we are Christian, and that's why everyone is safe, because we welcome all of you, even if you don't believe in me. That's what I would push. Instead of making me feel if I'm not Christian, you may, and I'm not saying you did that, I think different. You may not pull me in as much. So I would hit that you're all welcome because you're God's children. That's what Christian faith means. And then I would leave it alone for the ones that find you're trying to push because they want to be hard-headed. And then the ones that want to come, they'll come, you understand? Because we're all welcome. You're not looking at me anymore. God is looking at me. That's the way I would use that. Because we're all welcome. I'm sorry, guys. It's nutty.
No, I love your passion.
That's good. That's good.
Hi.
Hi.
I do love your presentation, and I do understand where you're coming from because I've struggled with that as well. Wanting to show that you're price-led, and trying to directly put it in your face. But I agree, I think that, because being that it's on your website, it is kind of other people, if you're not Christian, you can't come here. So this is kind of just an option. So I was thinking maybe if you were to take that off, and more so as go on actions, you know what I mean? Because price.
When you say, actions, I think that I'm not gonna take my belief off there. I think that's the basis of what I do. But one thing that was said in my presentation is that you don't have to be Christian, but like what I do, even with the media aspect of it, if you just want something wholesome to look at, something that doesn't involve violence or overly sexual content, like that's what you can come to Naveszn for. Like you don't have to be, it's not always, I'm not always like Jesus, it's more about my actions and more about the excellence as to which I provide my services. That's how my qualities are shown.
I think that goes.
Now, if you want Jesus, I'll give you that too, but.
What she was saying,
Christian
maybe
entrepreneurship.
so on the
Yeah.
studios part,
Mhm.
rather than the brand, like when you're trying to like brand for people and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, okay, I'm seeing what you guys are saying. If you have a brand, now there are certain things that certain projects I don't work on. If it's a club promotion, I'm not doing that. So it's
Standard.
yeah, there's a standard. But if you have a t-shirt brand that's a generic t-shirt brand, I don't have a problem with doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we do an intake to see, okay, what lines up with our ideals. It doesn't have to be, church-based, but it does have to fall into my morals, So
No, I definitely understand. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like she was saying maybe be more niche with the students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You presented here in the past, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Thank you.
As you started to speak, I realized that you had presented in the past. And I definitely see the improvement.
Thank you.
I just want to encourage you to take all the feedback.
Yes.
Filter it and then refine your
Yeah.
presentation of everything that you received today, and then consider presenting at other places. We have other 1 million cup chapters that you can present at. Just keep doing what you're doing and
Thank
taking
you.
the risk and getting up in front of people, and they're going to give us feedback.
Yes, no, and I appreciate it. I'm taking it all in. Sorry.
I think what they're saying is, it's too far down before I realize I don't have to be a Christian. So like when you have it on the top, put underneath. God said everyone else is welcome, Muslims or whatever. You don't have to be Christian. And then I'll know. But when I see Christian, not me, that's what they're saying. I think different. When I see Christian and everything, it goes too far down the pack of cigarettes. Before I see it, shouldn't smoke them. That's what they're seeing. So if you put it right underneath, it may say this, but you're welcome, brother, even though you don't believe, we still love you and we will move you on. That's what you gotta push. And it don't matter if you sing it from the rafters. It just knows you love everyone else. That's all you gotta do, and you're covered as far as your name. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't. Cause then you're trying to hide that no. We help them.
We're good.
All righty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for all the wonderful questions. Thank both of our presenters. Thank you guys for coming out this morning. Before we close out, are you gonna do the things that are coming up next week?
Yes, so I just want to say thank you everybody for coming. We just want to highlight some of the events that we have this week. So right after at 10:30 in that first room, we have a LinkedIn class for entrepreneur provided by the Library of Hillsborough County. And this Friday, we have here at 9 a.m. our entrepreneurship fair. So we will have all our partners here and some more to provide information and the service that they provide for the community. So everybody's welcome to come in. And thank you for coming up today.
All right. And if you are interested in being a presenter, we need you guys to please apply at 1millioncups.com/Tampa. We'd love for you guys to come and present. This isn't the Shark Tank. This is the Manatee Tank, as we like to say, right? So we're always looking for presenters. Thank you guys again for coming out. Hang around and network and mingle.
Next round of equity and entrepreneurship starts at the end of May.
Any community announcements?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Terry.
Next round of equity entrepreneurship program that all the presenters from the last few weeks have come from, starts around May.
All right.
And it's equinet.org.
John, you
You
have
have cards somewhere, you can, I'll be happy to give them out.
It's a great program. It's a really great plan.
Testimonials data.
Yeah, right.
We also have Sean here.
Want to mention a couple things. Next week is Small Business Week, so please, there's a Wednesday, Money Talks Summit. All the information is here. Instead, Thursday, there's an AI Summit, and then Friday, there's to bid or not to bid. Couple other things I want to mention, that there are 5 business consultants here in the building. The cards are there, so if anyone needs any business services, glad to help you. They'd love to help you.
No cost.
No cost, yeah, no cost. And then the other thing is, there's a lot of grants going on right now. So, there's a Verizon Digital Ready grant that I think you should, at least pay attention to. It may be able to apply for. The requirements are very, very minimal. And the city of Tampa has 2 grants that are coming out. Entrepreneur grant for startups, less than 12 months is $1,500, and for established business is $3,000. And then they have down payment assistance for businesses as well. So if you want any information about any of those things, please see me, let me know, and thank you.
All righty, thank you, guys.
No,
Me or her?
are we closing the meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
meeting adjourned.
We could say. Almost.